Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of our 365-day stream to see how far we can get a year. I am your host, Zonovox. I'm a little, I'm really busy. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life, so my apologies for the late start here. And more likely than not, the short stream. As much as I'd like to go ahead and keep it up for today, I have a lot that I gotta get done today. So hopefully you guys don't mind bearing with me. Basically all I'm probably gonna end up doing today is just meat runs. I'd like to go ahead and get some other stuff done, but yeah, like I've said, I got a little too much going on right now, so let's go ahead and get on this. How is everyone today? I know there's nobody here, so clearly pointless, but it's been a pretty nice day otherwise. I obviously had a lot of errands and stuff that I need to go ahead and get done, so managed to run a few of those today. Weather's been relatively nice. For the past few days it's been doing nothing but raining, so I'm glad that it hasn't rained just yet. Maybe it will later. I think the one thing that I miss about hey Joe, how you doing? I think the one thing that I kind of miss about doing this, having done this stream and doing this stream and this challenge and everything, is the ability to actually do things outside of the stream. I can't really go anywhere unless I plan for the stream to be happening. I can't exactly just go off and go experience things at night either, because the stream has to happen. I'm doing alright. It's been a really busy day for me, and it's probably going to be a short stream because I have to get some more stuff done here. And I'm trying to get it all done within a day so that way I can get back to my regular life and everything. And we can get back on our regularly scheduled broadcasts and stuff here. But yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking that, it's so easy to get stuff done, and I guess people don't really think about how much time they have available to them when, most of my time is cut off in one reason or another. So, yeah. Doing the stream isn't bad, but I've really come to realize a lot of the things that I can't do. I can't really go visit family, because if I end up staying late, I won't be able to do the stream. I can't really go to the movies because I prefer to go to the movies late at night rather than in noon or something like that. And I can't really do it during the weekdays because of my job and everything else, so yeah. No amusement parks, not enough time to go to really go to the beach or stuff like that, so there's a lot of stuff that I've had to give up to go ahead and do this stream. And, having to go ahead and sacrifice the rest of my remaining time to do stuff this weekend. I don't know, I just come to realize that, I really take a lot of my time for granted. Should probably go ahead and spend my spare time, accomplishing something in life, rather than just, doing nothing. I mean, sure, it would be cool to go ahead and sit and watch anime in a lot of my spare time and everything, but I feel like I could probably be making better use of my time. Recording stuff, or, finding better ways to go ahead and make money, finding another way to go ahead and spend my time other than that. I spend so much time playing with digital dinos, you don't really realize... How you doing? You don't really realize how much 6 hours is until you're spending 6 hours a day actually playing the game. Doing nothing but moving the control sticks back and forth, sitting here, and everything. Not that I mind talking to you guys. Hello, and yes, it's a big fan, that's for sure. I don't mind talking to you guys and everything else, but yeah, it just got me thinking, you know, if I had more time, I could get more done. You know, if there's anything that this year-long challenge has taught me, it's to not take my time for granted. So, yeah, there's that. Hey, how you doing? I think when this challenge is up, you know, I'll probably go ahead and take a little bit of time, then get right back into it. But yeah, it's been one of those. Today's just been one of those days where I sat back and thought, man, I really wish that I had more time to do stuff. You know, I would love to actually show you guys some of the, do other stuff and show you guys, some of the area and stuff, but, you know, with the stream the way that it is, big time sucker, you could probably develop the toddler trotting probably. But yeah, I would love to go ahead and show you guys, some of the area and stuff like that. Maybe go ahead and do, for any of you guys who have never been to, the Smithsonian or something, do a Smithsonian tour. That would be pretty cool. Or, you know, take a trip through the streets of DC for any of you guys who haven't been out here to the Capitol. Or stuff like that. Maybe I'd love to go ahead and show you everything that the area has to offer. That would be pretty nice. Do a Cherry Blossom Festival thing when that time comes around. I'm thinking more of the future of the channel. And yeah, I want to go ahead and keep it as, as doing stuff. You know, obviously with the games and stuff. But I'd like you guys to experience, the area around where I'm at. You know, there's a lot of stuff, but time is needed for that. Maybe after the challenge. I'll figure out some time, or we'll just continue to work it into stuff as we go. So, you know, when I do the whole hair shaving thing, it's probably not just going to be me shaving my hair. It'll probably be a nice little tour thing, so you guys can actually, you know, see my get-up, see where I'm at and stuff like that. I'll have to talk to Luft, see if she's comfortable with that, but, you know. I'm sitting here about to type Luft. Okay. Once again, I've neglected trots, so pretty much we're going to fill up all those trots, and that'll be the day. Those babies have all come to juvenile, so that is pretty good. Hair shaving vlog. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be too bad. Just like when I do the, just like when I go ahead and get my tattoo. You know, I'm hoping that people would want to tune in and, you know, ask questions, talk about me as a person and everything. If you ever if we're ever in the middle of stuff, actually doing things, and you all have questions, feel free to ask them. I don't have a problem talking about my life or things like that, so I'm always happy to talk to people. That's kind of like what I hope I can do for a living. I really do like talking to people, and talking to people for a living would be nice. That's why I think public speaking is a really good job. I wouldn't mind doing voice acting, and not even because of the voice acting, but just because maybe one day I'll get famous enough that people will, you know, invite me onto the radio shows, take me onto their stuff. How were babies made? All right, I got this one. So you see, sometimes when a man and a woman love each other very much, they have a special handshake where the man takes his hand and inserts it into a hole that the lady makes with her two hands. She makes a circle with her hands together, right? And the man takes his hand and he pushes it into that little circle that she's made with her hands, right? And so they repeat this process for anywhere between, like... Yeah, actually. So I'm about to get to the Cabbage Patch part, don't worry. So they repeat this process for like a minute, anywhere between a minute and like 4 hours, right? It just depends on, you know, how they're feeling at the time. Sometimes, you know, sometimes the guy's muscles get tired and they can't last that long. So he takes his hand and he puts it through the ring really quickly, right? And then if they want to increase their chances of the stork bringing them a baby, what they do is they go to a cabbage patch, right? And they go into this cabbage patch and they perform a special dance, right? And the special dance is like where the lady like lies on her back and like puts a pillow underneath the bottom of her back and like takes her legs and opens them to the sky to let the sun grace the interior of her legs, right? And then the man like stands over top of her and he shakes his hips back and forth like in emotion while grabbing in front of him like he's trying to hold like an extremely large cabbage, right? Or like a pumpkin, like he's grabbing a pumpkin or a watermelon, and he just thrusts his hips back and forth, right? And so they do this for a little bit, and then afterwards, you know, they go sit in the back of a car, and then they lay down, and they shake it back and forth. Now, before the invention of cars, they used to have to do this in, like, the back of a horse and buggy. And, you know, before the invention of the carriage and everything, you know, they used to have to do this in, like tents. And before there were tents, like, it was really complicated because there were no cabbages or anything else like that. So they had to just repeat the whole, like, hand circle, like, arm thrust thing for, like, so long, just to be able to go ahead and get a baby. And they had to make sure they were doing it in a cave, because if they weren't in a cave, it wouldn't work. And the deeper that you are in the cave, you know, the more effective it is. That's why sometimes we find, like, fossils of people all the way really deep in caves, or, like, frozen, like, way, way, way deep under the earth, because, you know, they were taking that ritual seriously and trying to go real deep. So there you go. Sounds like it's weather dependent. No, you could do it in the snow. You could do it in the rain. I mean, you know, the sun is always up there, even if you can't see it, so... But there you go. That's how babies are made. If you didn't know, I am a valued member of the community r/shitty science, and, yeah, I really ham it up there. I love answering questions in just the worst fashions. I love giving, like, super bad advice and, like, super bad explanations to things. I have always enjoyed it, and then somebody introduced me to that subreddit, and I have never looked back. One of my favorite subreddits to contribute to. Incredible. And then bookmark this and tell your friends. Yeah, share it with everybody you know. Tell them this is how babies are made. And if any doctor says otherwise, you tell them. You know what? Send them to me and I'll set them straight. I'll show them everything. I'll even draw them a diagram just to make sure they really get the point. Well, aside from diagram and bad baby advice, yeah. Thanks for keeping me busy, Lily, thinking up some really dumb shit to say on the fly. Anyone who disputes it is scamming. Listen, you know the term fake news? It was first coined about people trying to go ahead and talk about, you know, this thing called, like, making love. There's no making love when a baby happens. It's just baby, you know? That's just how it works. I was there. Listen, I was there when I was made as a baby, alright? I remember, I've seen the videotapes of me being made. And I can tell you firsthand that that's how babies are made. Yeah, I don't think anybody ever bothers to tell you that, you know, when babies are being made, there's so much involved with it. Such an intricate ritual. You know, everybody wants to look at the animal kingdom, and I'm quick to go out and be like, hey, wait, why do you need to look at the animal kingdom when we've got our own complicated ritual? You know, that involves first stuttering through your words and then finding a suitable mate and, you know, from the archives. You know, that's not even to go ahead and go into, like, the courtship rituals. Man, there are so many courtship rituals, and you know what? It's completely dependent. You never even know what's going to be the right one. There's over like 750 different courtship ritual dances that you might have to go through. And you know, you never know which is the proper one. Some courtship rituals require, you know, they require liquids. You know, some courtship rituals require, you know, dancing and movement. You know, some courtship rituals require, you know, talking to people. You know, there are other courtship rituals that don't even require talking. You know, you just look at somebody and that's it. And then, you know, Octomom really put in the arrows. Now we know. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You can only imagine she had to do that ritual so many times. She probably spent like a full 2 hours on each of those babies. But yeah, the courtship rituals, those are even worse. And you really don't even know if you're using the right courtship ritual. It's not like you can be like, hey, is this right? You know, because they're going to look at you and expect you to know what's right. You know, occasionally you can tell what courtship ritual you're going to be using based on the colors that the female's got. You know, like if they're wearing certain colors on that particular day, or you know, if their feathers are ruffled in a particular way, or depending on the environment, or the weather, or you know, the positioning of the sun and the moon. Which I think is fucking crazy that, like, real talk, the positioning of the moon can actually change how you have to deal with a lady. That's fucking nanners. Like, it blows my mind. So, anyway. What are the rare courtship rituals out there? Rare courtship rituals. Okay. I've got a good one. It's pretty rare. So, one of those courtship rituals, you know, involves your son going back into time to go ahead and get hit by a car by the mate that's supposed to be your mate, right? And then you have to go ahead and try and save her in a situation that may or not actually occur because, you know, your son got... Oh, God. Is this happening? Is this... Because your son got... Oh, no. Oh, no, Giga. Are you serious? Are you seriously caught, Giga? Come on. Is this how it ends? Okay, I'm gonna have to, like, let it walk its way out. I don't think it's gonna walk its way out, to be honest. Oh no, I really... Oh! Are you almost out? There we go. Hey! All I had to do is wait for it to do its thing. Alright, so yeah, one of those courtship rituals. You know, you gotta wait until, you know, your son goes back in time, gets hit by your mate, you know, they almost fall in love, then you have to go ahead and save them from a situation. Yep, that's it. That's one of those really rare ones, you know, you don't hear about too often. You know, it's called the McFly courtship. Or let's see, what's another good one? Another good courtship ritual. Ah, okay, here's another good one. Yeah, so yeah, but when I say 700 plus, those are just the ones I can think of at the top of my head, you know. I'm sure there's a lot more. But yeah, here's another great courtship ritual. You know, you and your partner have to become like trained astronauts, right? To go into space, right? This is a little difficult because, you know, you have to be in the same fields of study and stuff like that. But then you and them have to go into space, right? And you have to have some other people that come along with you, you know, as support crew and stuff like that. And then you have to fly through like a gamma wave or a gamma burst or like a gamma something or other. Has to be gamma though, can't be anything else. And then you and your partner have to like develop superpowers, right? And after you've developed superpowers and everything else, then you come back and you know, you get to legally change your name to like Mr. Fantastic. That's pretty cool. I mean, who wouldn't want to be called Mr. Fantastic, right? But you know, the problem is that ritual fails if your mate doesn't develop the powers of invisibility. Then you gotta repeat the process, and you know, and if you can't repeat the process, because you know it's hard to go ahead and get gamma burst ones more than once, then that's it. You're just stuck, and you gotta go ahead and go through a completely different ritual. You know, you could go for the reverse incredible at that point. You know, you got to find yourself a super strong lady. Since, you know, you're stretchy and rubbery with the whole Mr. Fantastic superpower. You go ahead and find yourself an extremely strong lady, and then you can go for what's called the Incredibles courtship. You know, where you're strong and where you're stretchy, and you know your wife is extremely strong, and then the two of you guys have babies. Then you can go through the ritual, and voila, that's it. There you go. That's one of the other rare rituals that can happen. Man, aren't you glad you found this great educational channel to tell you all about how babies are made? What would you do without all this great advice? All right. See why people get it so wrong. Yeah, all the time. Listen, I see people going for like the common rituals, like the "Can I get you a drink?" or "Hey, does this smell like chloroform to you?" You know, those are just low tier rituals. You know, if you want to really succeed at getting a baby, like, yeah, there's this great documentary called The Incredibles that like it talks about exactly how they did the ritual and everything else. You know, they cut out all the boring stuff like, you know, the hand circle and the arm thrust and everything else. But I mean, yeah, if you just look at what they did and everything else, you can see that they went for the Incredibles, or you could go for the Fantastic. But I don't think the Fantastic method is for everybody. Yeah. Oh man. All right, Gigas, come on. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, well, just chuck all of those out, please, kindly, and thank you. Yeah. There's a couple really good ones. Or, like, you know, the other baby documentary I could think of, you know, it's called The Time Traveler's Wife, which is, you know, it's another method of courtship and everything else. First, you got to be a time traveler. So if you're not a time traveler, you know, doesn't work. Doctor Who, I'm talking to you. You could do this method if you wanted to. But, you know, you got to go ahead and be a time traveler, right? But you can't control your time travel and everything else. So you're randomly just going to go all over the place. So you're going to be what's considered an absentee father. You know, it's not that you're going to go out for milk and never come back. It's that you're going to go out for milk and you're going to time travel. And you won't be able to make your way back to your family, right? Or you might come back a little younger or older than you thought you were, or something else like that. So, yep, I wouldn't recommend that one. Not exactly the easiest one to explain to your family. Hey, I'm like 23 years older, but it's really me, and I remember everything. You know, when you left to the store, and then you come back some old crusty man. I mean, you may occasionally see people trying to go ahead and pull that one off, but, you know, it doesn't always work. Or, you know, you could go for the scuba method, which, you know, first requires you to have a really big shark. So if there's no really big sharks in your area, I wouldn't recommend it. Where you, you know, you go out on a boat with a bunch of people and you go hunting after a really big shark. You can also use a really big whale if you're feeling particularly spicy and trying to go for, you know, twins or triplets. The bigger the fish you're hunting, the more babies you're gonna have. It's just a science. That's how it works. The Meg technique. Exactly. Perfect. You know exactly what I'm talking about. See, I'm glad that you've seen that documentary too. Although it doesn't show any of the rituals or anything else. Yeah, it's exactly how it is. Yeah, or the Moby Dick, also known as the, you know, the Ahab method. Yep. It's one way to go about it. Alright, we're gonna try and lead these things up to the front because I'd rather just bite him once or twice and then be done with it. They're definitely still following behind me. Yep, there it is. I wonder if people ever get tired of all the bullshit that pops out of my mouth on a regular basis. Because I feel like all of, like, the regulars have just completely stopped showing up now. Or maybe they're just tired of, like, watching the exact same thing every single day. I mean, I'm tired of playing the exact same, like, thing every day. Meat run, meat run, meat run, meat run. So I can only imagine that people who aren't doing anything and are just watching it are probably tired of it. Lily and like Joe, I think you guys are the only people who pop up on the regular. Well, I guess that's not true. There are a bunch of regulars and stuff now. Our regulars have just kind of shifted over the months. Is it school holidays there, summer break or what? Yeah, it's summer break out here, so a lot of the kids aren't showing up anymore because they're busy off, pretending to Call of Duty or whatever kids do nowadays. Off playing, robbers and cops and robbers or whatever's popular these days. I think some of the viewers are off trying over the over. Oh, I hope not. Listen, like I appreciate the fact that they are trying to bring more viewers into the fold and everything, but yeah, considering some of the ages of our viewership, I'm really hoping they're not off trying the over 700 different ways to summon a stork. How long is summer break there? It's relatively long. It's a few months. I believe it's like 3 months in total. Something like that. It's funny because I've had my say about the whole thing for a long time, and I'm a very firm believer in round the year schooling. I know a lot of kids nowadays wouldn't really want that to fly or anything, but they really failed to realize that around the year schooling would just be better for everybody involved. Around the year schooling doesn't mean you go to school every single day. It means you'd have shorter days or shorter time periods in, and roughly 2 weeks at a time off, and then you'd have like a month or so in, and then 2 weeks off, and it just works out so much better, and you'd be able to get a lot more things done, a lot more consistent. The problem is the American travel industry would never be interested in that. So, yeah, it's extremely long. That's why I am not a big fan of it. Do you know how much brain dumping people can do? That's why, like, you come home. Yeah, that's what we have. I just think it's a better method. I really do. Round the year schooling, I think, is just a much stronger candidate for not only keeping kids interested in what they're doing, also ensuring that they retain the information that they have, and most of all, allowing kids to have just more time off. In 3 months, I can tell you all. Look, in 3 months, I can forget pretty much anything. And you expect kids to go ahead and remember everything they had the year before and then come back all fresh and dandy like they just popped out of the ground? Yeah, exactly. 3 months as a young person, that's an eternity. These young kids be having relationships shorter than that. Full-blown I love yous shorter than that. Alright. Yeah, I just feel like there's better. One second, my dog's looking at the door. Oh, there we go. Just throw me on the ground. Oh no. I am so glad that freaking Giga's legs did not let them through, because that was scary watching that Megalosaur. I think you get 6 to 8 weeks over here, summer and Xmas, and then 3 to 4 sets of 2 weeks breaks. Yeah, I think that's so much better. Like, I really do just feel like that's so much better. I think once kids over here got used to it, they would just not even think about it. Sure, having all of that time to yourself is great, over the course of a few... Man, that thing is bright. Over the course of a few months, but, like... it would be so much easier to plan shit if you knew you had X number of weeks to go ahead and do stuff over, or plan stuff with your family, or go out and do stuff with your friends. Like, if you all knew that everybody was going to be on the same timeline. But, the American travel industry will never allow that. Too many people rely on the summer cycle and everything else, and to really make their deals or get travel and stuff like that for anything like that to happen. Yeah. I don't know, I got a lot of beliefs over here in America that wouldn't exactly, sit well with a lot of people, such as, I'm a very firm believer in mandatory military service. I think that everybody should serve at least 2 years in the military if they are capable of doing it. And the reason is I've given my whole view on how I see the military. They give you a job, they give you a skill, they give you a place to live. They feed you and everything else. So you would have 2 years to figure out what you'd really want to do with your life. And I just feel like some people really need that kind of guidance. I mean, especially with everybody coming out of the military with the skill. At the minimum, even if you don't know what you want to do by the time you leave there, at least you have something you can fall back on. But, that's not a popular opinion. So, is it mandatory in Germany? I can't remember. I am not sure if it's mandatory, and oh no. Oh god, that's like the worst possible place. I'm probably gonna end up dead in there, or all my equipment have broken. Oh, man. Well, let me just give it a few minutes while this works. I don't know, but since I have time, let me go ahead and look it up for you. Give me a second. I actually gotta add this to, let me share this to my dad. It's alright, it's happened. It's been like that recently. There's been a lot of that going on. So, countries with mandatory military service. Alright. So, this is a list of countries with mandatory military service. Countries that require 1 year of mandatory: Algeria, Bolivia, Colombia, Guatemala, Kazakhstan, Moldova, Mongolia, Paraguay, Russia, Taiwan, Tunisia, and Uzbekistan. Russia, wow, I didn't know that. Man, that's great. That would explain a lot, though. Like, that's why every Russian is ready and prepared all the time. Let's see. Several nations require military service of no more than 18 months. Azerbaijan, Belarus, Benin, Cambodia. Let's see. Cyprus, Egypt, Georgia, Kuwait, Laos, Morocco, and the United Arab Emirates. That require military service of longer than 18 months: Armenia, Angola, Central African Republic, Chad, Cuba, Eritrea. Where the hell is Eritrea? Eritrea, 3 million people. Eritrea is where? Can you show me where it is, please? Can you just show me where it is? That would be nice. I've never even heard of this country. Okay, region. Eastern Africa of Sub-Saharan Africa. That is why I've never heard of it. I do not know a lot of the African areas very well. Let's see, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Iran. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pause this out and see if I can get back into the server. So stand by a moment. All right, so we didn't die. Good news. Um, we're almost dead, so there's that. As much as I want to keep the hide, we're on meat runs right now. Like, my health is fine. My armor is already ruined. I lost my head, torso, and feet the other day to a crash. I just fixed these pants, so I'm kind of mad that they're already halfway down again. All right, hey, yep, do your thing. Ah, Jesus. Already? I just fucking got back in here. There's barely any people. What the fuck? Who is doing this shit? All right, just it seems like it's going to be one of those days. All right. Well, I feel like it's going to be like this constantly, so I'm going to go ahead and just shut it off for today. My apologies for everybody who tuned in. I'll go ahead and see if we can get back to regular tomorrow.